Just to look back, right? How Ostrich as an organization started. This company has been established by five classmates, including myself, Harsha, Srijit, Biman, Hari. When we started this business, we have been studying together till graduation. Then all of us went to various, masters. Then went to Canada, US, Singapore, etc. Finally landed back. Then started working with IBM. One of my colleagues is actually in hospitality industry. One of my other colleagues is actually the design engineer, product design. So we started looking at, we wanted to do something because we have been seeing, various products. So we thought, let's start getting into a business, right? Typically, if you look at any IT guy, you start looking at a business, they will have a lot of inclination towards IT, right? So, but we wanted to do something which is different. That's when, we thought, let's do something which has an impact to the society, right? That's when, we have seen, products, various products available in this segment. Then we thought electric wheelchair could be a good choice because it gives a mobility, which is, mobility is no more a luxury, right? It's a necessity, right? We understood that that's a market which has not been tapped, that's a segment which has been completely neglected. So we started, then we thought, okay, let's start the business. Like we started the business thinking that we wanted to get the most cheapest wheelchair possible for an individual. But like any other startup, we went through its own tough terrains, right? Our plans were in north and we were on south, right? Then finally we thought, okay, let's, the one thing which we understood early in the life cycle, because when we started the business, the wheelchairs were available, not that it's not available in India. Market was very small. I think we understood those imported wheelchairs were coming from a global brands, brands, but that those wheelchairs are not really suitable for India because Indian conditions are different, Indian dynamics are different, the road conditions are different. They brought in the wheelchair which is being designed for a Western country roads to India, right? But again, that is not suitable for India because India has its own challenges. That's when we understood we should create something which is unique for Indian conditions. Then we almost stopped our business almost to 9 months to 1 year, and we invested heavily time and energy for the research. We got a couple of patents. One is the most cost-effective suspension system from a frame perspective. The second thing is we got automated wheelbase adjuster, which wherein you can increase the wheelbase and decrease the wheelbase based on the surface you play with. So those two innovative things, innovative technologies have has really helped us, you know, outpacing our competitors, right? From 2010, yeah, late 2009 to 2010, we have been consistently making an impact in terms of, product innovations plus sales. And today, when I really look back, I think the time what we spent for bringing an innovative technology for Indian condition really helped us. Today, all our competitions are far behind us. We have been holding the pole position for the last 7 to 8 years from an electric wheelchairs perspective. Then we have recently last week we introduced a new product which is more of electric mobile isolation kiosk, wherein COVID is one of the reason for us to start looking at that space. And you can understand that the healthcare guys, the doctors or the nurses, they deal with the hospitals or the patients on a regular basis, but they are completely exposed to virus, right? This is a kiosk where they can sit inside. It's nothing but a wheelchair on a platform, but which is completely isolated from external virus or any other pollutions, right? So innovations, I believe, not only for Ostrich and many other organizations. I'm sure start focusing on innovations. I think there are many things which we can do. We have been personally experienced in that, right? If we would have gone with the same conventional way of making the wheelchair, which is available in the public domain, then I'm sure we would have been like any other trader in the market, right? Let's give an example, right? You bring a wheelchair from anywhere else, right, to India. And the reason for India is India's dynamics are totally different, and you don't have a one solution for it, right? The fundamental challenge for India is, even the houses or the commercial buildings or the offices are none of them are wheelchair friendly. It means having a wheelchair is good, but doesn't help you to reach where you want, right? On top of it, leave alone, right? And we have somebody else will help you to take you through steps, etc. But how do you move from one position to another position? And the roads are live on rural side, right? In urban side, the roads are not that great, right? Of course, things are changing. When we started in 2007, it was a fundamental challenge, and you don't see a road at all. But some of these people working in not only working in staying in remote areas, they didn't have an option. And those wheelchairs which we are bringing from foreign countries, it is suitable for those kind of roads. But here now, that's where the issue is. If I being a wheelchair bound person, might be an old age person or a person like me who don't have any physical issues, or a differently able person, it is totally uncomfortable sitting on a wheelchair which doesn't have the suspension system, right? And but however, there are people, right, say that, oh, I'm okay, I just need a mobility because my mobility might be 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes. But now once you start giving the mobility to an individual who doesn't have a mobility, that's when they start having this is part of their life, right? That's when today I'm getting mobility within my neighborhood, and next, and after a year or two, then I'll start thinking, okay, I've been moving around, and again, why can't we just move to the next level, which is going to be outside road, and here the payments are not there. If it is used by bicycle, and those things we cannot control. We used to keep saying internally, right? We cannot change the roads, but we change the wheelchair. That's the only thing we can do. Right. So the market is, if a person is talk about the market, wheelchair market might be smaller in size, which is completely non-penetrated today, right? And there are various reasons, right? Now there are a lot of program which is driven by the state governments, part of the rehabilitation fund or welfare fund, which is creating a lot of awareness about creating mobility, right? And we run through B2C business where we directly sell to the customer, and B2B. So we started seeing the market is improving, because if we really look at what happened in 2007-8, even to sell one wheelchair, it takes 6 months. First thing is to convince them there is a product like electric wheelchair available in the market. Second thing is to convince them, saying that fair enough, you might be a differently able or an old age person, but you can still. We always say if you have one finger which you can go around, you should be able to maneuver the wheelchair, right? So now what happens is 11, 12, there are multiple movies, and we are fortunate to have some of the movies where our wheelchair has been given, and it created a lot of impact for us. And for example, the movie which Amitabh was acting, Wazir, the wheelchair which he was sitting, and our wheelchair has been selected after inspecting 43 wheelchairs by Vinod Chopra being the director, right? So there is a couple of other movies in South India, the Bangalore Days, wherein the wheelchair is the character by itself,
yes.
Right? All these really helped us. Okay, might be we are fortunate to have that kind of fruits falling to our hand, but I think today, if I really look at, there are many movies. You don't need to create any awareness there. More of you need to try to make the people understand that this is what you are looking for. And just wanted to tell you, right, the reason why we kept our pole position, we have 3 universal selling proposition. One is we are the only company in India which does customization. We understood that every individual is different, right? One size fit for all doesn't work. So of course, I agree that customization takes time and there is price attached to it. But again, for a customer, it's nothing but a premium, service he is getting it. Second thing is we provide service at the doorstep. And the fundamental reason of electric wheelchair, why a person has to buy the wheelchair, right? He needs freedom and independence. And asking the person, right, to bring this wheelchair to a service center and means he has to depend on somebody, right? Which shouldn't be the case. So the purpose is lost. So we decided to give a service at the doorstep. And the last thing is, if you could see people are giving 1 year service, and especially the vehicle, when the vehicles like this which are moving around, you don't expect more than 1 year, right? Warranty. We provide 3 years, 1+2 extended year warranty. That clears all doubts from an individual customer perspective. How long I can use this wheelchair without getting stuck, right? So these 3 things, we understood that this is where I think we should position Ostrich, and almost all our products carry all these 3, propositions. So, one thing which we are currently working on, so far, if you really look at our wheelchairs are rear wheel driven. Rear wheel driven wheelchairs are basically for roads where you could see terrains and uneven surfaces, right? Now we are in the verge of completion of the prototype for a mid-wheel drive. Now, if you look at the mid-wheel drive, technically, your turning radius is going to be relatively nothing, right? That's almost done. That again, and we have a plan, and I don't want to disclose all
Oh,
the plan by
absolutely.
the way, but we have a plan to bring in a smart wheelchair to an autonomous wheelchair, right? So it means, today I control the wheelchair, tomorrow, don't take me wrong, wheelchair will go its own. Those technologies are, available in the market. Probably we need to tweak it for the applications, right? So that's where we are looking at, and we also parallelly working, bringing a smart cloud bed. The bed is not just a bed where you lie down, but you're completely going to be monitored, right? Takes time because it's not about collecting the data, but again, creation of inferences, analysis, building algorithms. So it's a long route, but I think we are ready to be there. And second thing is, if you look at it, ostrich, we have been doing what? We are just moving a person from one point to another point in a wheelchair. Now, if I want to replicate that in a two-wheeler, if I want to replicate that in a three-wheeler, it's very much possible because the underlying technology is different. We almost same, but again, you might see the power of the motor changes, your battery capacity changes, okay, type of the battery changes. But otherwise, from any mobility, right? Anything which is in the mobility space, Ostrich as an organization would have the capability to get in. The question is whether we are really need to get in or do on daily. I mean, diversify the business. I think we are not thinking that at this point in time, but you never know, right? If everything works well, if things goes right, and hopefully we can, go to the next level. See, that's what people used to say, right? When you start doing a lot of customization, how do you scale up your business, right? So what we did is, when we say customization, right? Some of the customization, what we did is, we have created as a model by itself. Today, for example, somebody comes to me saying that, when I need a wheelchair, which has a seat lifting function, right? Now, when I started getting many requests coming in, so what we did is, we created a model itself for us, for a seat lifting, right? Now, from a production standpoint, this is a model, and just the model will be cleared out. We'll just go ahead and manufacture, right? Sometimes what we are trying to do is, some of the customization which has been coming in from the market, based on the volume of business coming in, we have created a model by itself, so that it becomes part of the business, and you don't need to do additional effort for a customization. But there are something, we always call configurations, right? Some people will say that I need a bucket seat, I need more comfort, more cushions, right? Which is only nothing but just a configuration change, right? And it doesn't take much time. But by and large, we could see some customers will be coming and saying that I need little more frame, because I don't need a double footrest, I need single footrest. People who are obese will ask for more strength for the frame. Those things are the real customization. Otherwise, all the customization which we have been doing it, now we made it as a model by itself. So the customization is there, which we cannot avoid, right? And I'm sure, some people are okay to get the product off the shelf, but some people are really, we have seen the kind of customers coming to us, the factory, for seeing, and we truly think that without the customization, the product is not going to be a useful one, right? That's the reason we keep customization as our core competency. So I think, yes, I think one thing, we always think that four of us has competencies are different. Now, Harsha comes from finance. He's an SAP finance guy with a finance background. And one guy comes with the marketing. He was actually pharmaceutical marketing. It's all fall in place. So I think one way it is good because we are complementing each other. But again, still there are skills where I think we need to rely on some individuals. We got support from some of our colleagues and the friends working in, we got some support from PwC, right? I'm one of my colleague, not the colleague, actually one of my friend is working in PwC. He provided inputs in how, see, smaller organization, your strategy is going to be, people say that why do you want to build a strategy, right? But still, you need to clear your thoughts about what your, that kind of help. And then we try to reach out to professors, right, who we know, to get some kind of technical inputs. But by and large, I think that's kind of mentoring we have been, it's like a more of an on-demand basis. But we have not got a mentoring as an organization. This is, we never thought that is not required. We thought, okay, let's somehow get the business going. You learn on the lot of, uh, issues, because if you try to learn everything on the run, right? But it was that point in time, it was more of, let's get going, right? But otherwise, I think formal mentoring, in fact, would definitely help an organization like us to streamline, not only, this sales or marketing, even operational strategy perspective. For the last 2 years, I think we have been growing almost 100%. This last year, 1920, we have a 40% growth, and we are expecting almost 120, because we have a confirmed business of almost close to around 3.5 million. And of course, I'm only talking about domestic market, and we have products are CE certified. And we've got CE certification, I think end of 2018. And of course, we have not tried exports. There is a market available in the question is, you want to capture the Indian market or get to the next. So we have been, conscious that, okay, let's keep the ground on the feet on the ground and see what we can do. Now, I think now we are in a phase that I think we start looking at exports. We are in a discussion for Middle East. The discussions are almost at the last stage. It's more of a channel partner. They will take our products. And the only thing which I was asking the channel partner is, we have a philosophy at which we operate in India. If you can replicate that, you don't need to sell the wheelchair; it will get automatically sold. And for the Europe, some discussions are happening. It was in a good discussions phase till February, and all COVID came in. Now, everybody went back, and but slowly was picking up. But I think the COVID would have slowed down some of these discussions, intensity. But we expect that something should come out for Europe by end of this year. So we have a request for one of the government institute. Initially, it came as a sales inquiry. They need a wheelchair for a healthcare professional to move from one bed to another bed, right? Then we ask them, what is the purpose? Basically, because if you look at COVID wards are bigger inside, the doctor or whoever is going to bed, and he will have to walk a lot, right? Only thing is, when he is coming closer to the patient, he can just get up and do the treatment or diagnosis. Then he has to walk, right? Basically to assist. That's when the discussion came up. This, why can't we just make it as an isolation kiosk, right? Wherein doctor will be completely isolated when he is not exposed. When he come closer to the bed, there's 2 gloves. You could see that that kind of facility is available in for foreign countries now for taking the swab and do the testing. Those gloves, he can use it, and you can go close to the patient and do any diagnosis what is required. What he can do is he can sit back and move kiosk, and we use HEPA filters, right? Because air inside as well as air outside is being completely filtered. So that idea came out. We built it as a prototype. It came out very well, and even to our surprise, now when we have given demos to some of the government entities and some of the private players, we started getting a lot of demand. But second thing is, look at it. It's not only a COVID one, right? That look at this product is suitable for anywhere. You want to isolate a user from any, let's say, environment pollutions or atomic pollutions or anything, everything, right? Look at the nuclear reactor, right? The people move around, and of course, you need somebody to move around and do the supervision, and he's being exposed, right? And think about it, sitting on a complete and isolated kiosk, moving around. Your purpose is that. And one side you look after your user as well, right? So this was some thinking, we of course we started adding, various frills to it. So it came out now well, and we are extremely happy that we could make something. I'm not worrying about whether it is going to be sold, etc. But for us, it's an innovation. Sometimes your innovation doesn't get sold quickly. Fair enough, right? And at least a company like us, we could say that okay, there is something which we could really do it. So I think innovation. We always believe, right? And innovation always comes from your observation, right? You understand the need of the market, right? Sometimes when you look at, you have a standard solution which is working very well. This is where people get into comfort zone, right? Things might be working. If you look at it in a different dimension, you can do something which is totally different. That could be an innovative solution. And once you understand what the market is looking for, then you can think in. You should never ever think in your conventional direction. And if you really just give an example, when you find time, you look at the products what we have in our website, and you can look at the wheelchairs which are available in public domain. You will not see any similarity between those products and our products. We could have thought the same way the rest of the public, rest of the wheelchair manufacturers. We never thought. We wanted to have our own imprint. So we always internally say something called design DNA. Right? Design DNA, you can see, and I keep 5 or 6 wheelchairs. I take out the logos and all those things. If the people are knowledgeable about that industry, can definitely make out this is an ostrich wheelchair, right? So what we approach is every time whatever we think, it might be small or big, sometimes it doesn't work out, right? We think totally in a different way, right? And I agree that there are some products already available in public domain. Now the question is, conventional question is, why do you want to reinvent the wheel, right? But sometimes reinventing the wheel helps as long as it has an invention to it. So that's a way we sometimes tell our team, conventional thinking in an unconventional way, right? That really helps. And I agree, startups are there, brilliant guys. Sometimes, with all respect on startups, their steam goes down because they get into this, product prototype stage. Then naturally the next route is investment. Then it doesn't come. Then naturally they take their seat back, right? It's not that they cannot think, because their thinking is totally in a different direction. That's where I think the government has to really help them, especially in this. It's like a kid, learning walking. If the parents are not helping, and it takes more time to walk, right? Sometimes some people not even know walk, right? So we look at innovation that way. I look at conventional things totally an unconventional way.